Hi everyone, I'm Lesli Linka Glatter. I'm the director and executive producer of Homeland, and this is Notes on a Scene. This is the finale episode of the 7th season of Homeland.
Max, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We start off right in the middle of the action. Carrie Matheson is trying to get out of Russia. They are within seconds of getting to the embassy. And as they're about to go, they pull over because the Soviet police has blocked off the entrance. And there are the Soviet police right there. We filmed this in Budapest, Hungary. Right down here is the real American embassy. It was a big deal to shoot in this area because this is where really all the embassies are. This is actually a treasury building. And we put a fence there and we put up all the signage that's here because none of this existed. And then all the police cars, the Russian police cars, were brought in. Everything you see here, all of this is all ours. Everything that is Russian is all ours because Hungarian is obviously a completely different language.
He left the hotel 5 minutes ago with the package.
The camera is outside of the car looking into Carrie, and we'll have, when we turn around, another camera outside of the car. But I want everything to feel like you're in their world. Now, Carrie gets out. Anson has to make a decision. Back in the dark ages, I was a modern dancer and then a choreographer before I started directing. Choreography has ended up being an amazing skill. Doing action, directing action, you're moving, people and things through space. And that's something you do as a choreographer and a dancer all the time. I love choreographing action, but I love action that has meaning. I don't really care about blowing up a truck for no reason. I want it to push the story forward. This, we had multiple cameras on. So cameras, actually, right where this is. We had a camera in a store back here. We also had a high angle, which we ended up not using, because this felt like we were more in the scene and trying to keep it, again, as visceral as possible. In this piece, the whole idea is that we are with her. We want to feel like we are in Carrie's head. In Homeland, there's a level of anxiety everywhere. It never really goes away. And we go back and forth between modes. So we would go from being a scene that was all handheld into a scene that, let's say, was all Steadicam, which keeps you slightly uncomfortable. You never quite know what footing you're on. When Carrie first goes down the street, it is the same street. We did the car crash. But this cut, where the train station is a different street. This is an actual train station, but this is one of the main train stations in Budapest. We did not have control of the station, which was a little tricky. This was actually written for a market, but I thought a market, that's not going to be so interesting. It's not going to have a lot of twists and turns. And I wanted something where Carrie really had a journey and we could be with her on that journey. And the minute I saw this area around the train station, I thought, this is it. This was not a very big car. To get all of the camera people, everyone inside of this car when it was driving, I was in the trunk of this car. The camera's in the front seat. So if the driver's here, and camera is here, there's no place to put anyone. I have lots of photos of myself in the back of cars. So now, Saul is turning around and talking to Simone and showing her who she's going to be.
Carrie Matheson, your favorite. What's happening with her?
So now we are on this little rickshaw. The rickshaw, I'm a terrible drawer. It's terrible. It kind of looks like that, like a seat with wheels, and then you've got a guy behind who's pushing this thing, and then the camera operator is sitting on it holding the Steadicam. So holding the camera like that. And we are right behind Carrie. So I want to feel like we are running with her. She's making a choice now. She's going to be going up to the main area of the train station. And so more objective shot to see where you are, to see what she's dealing with. And thank goodness we can see her there because Carrie has a bright red scarf on. And again, this is a mix of our background, but probably all of these people here, I would tell you, these are not our people. Anyone that's in this area, this is our background. We tried to surround her with our people, but people, it's human life. People are going to work. This train here, we owned that train. So that train stayed there the whole day. As far as the other trains, they were coming and going all day long. I love in Homeland going from the macro of the world, the wide shot, to right in her face and in her energy. And this is footage we shot. Everywhere we go, we are shooting video footage, small video cameras. We had cameras everywhere. We had cameras here, we had cameras there, we had cameras here, we had another one there, we had another one there. The GRU is watching everything. And now we are at the airport. This is the real Budapest International Airport. This was very tricky for shooting because, of course, the airport is operational. This is an area that is not, but it still is an operational airport. So we had to stop for when planes were landing. The joys of filmmaking. So, the military is guarding this. These are extras. Most of them have military training. These are real guns. This actor here who's coming up, this guy here, amazing Russian actor who's living in Hungary, communicating with this guy, everything had to be translated from Russian to Hungarian to English.
We have diplomatic immunity. Fuck off, you asshole!
Saul has basically slammed the door on this immigration officer. But of course, all of the soldiers are going to come in and circle the car. And this guy did this huge hand movement the first time, and apparently that's what the Soviets do. He is actually a former Soviet military guy, so he knew procedure. So I had him do it, but not quite as big as he did it the first time. I didn't want it to be operatic. Homeland is realistically real, and that was keeping him to what would be natural for us.
Give me the embassy.
This whole market, none of this existed. We built the whole thing. And this is a real mix of our actors and people that are actually in the station. We heard a lot of people saying they were really nervous that they thought the Soviets had come back. Especially the older background players, they saw Soviet policemen and they were pretty freaked out. Claire is amazing to work with. She is the best partner in crime ever. She is game to play. As far as stunts, she is game to try anything. She has done a lot of running around. This sequence, for me, is a great example of what Homeland is. You're on the edge of your seat. You have characters that are leading you through the story, leading you through the action. You're never comfortable because our characters aren't. I'm always interested thematically in people being put in extraordinary circumstances where they're forced to deal with who they really are. And Carrie and Saul, they are in those circumstances. The stakes are very, very high. That's what I love doing.